I know that running can be time consuming. So in this video, I want to give you actionable strategies for saving time with your running while still prioritizing all the really important aspects of training that are going to help you reach your potential. I have talked a lot about the value of high volume training if you want to reach your potential as a distance runner. And while that is certainly true, the other reality of the situation is that most of us are not pro athletes that can dedicate our entire lives to our training. We have to fit it in with our families, our professional responsibilities, and then also just the fun things that we want to do as individuals living our lives. I think it's really important to enjoy yourself and not dedicate yourself 1,000% to your training. Really important to be a multi-dimensional human. So in this video, let's talk about all of those time-saving strategies that are going to help you get in great training, but still have a life, still get your 8 hours of sleep every night, and make sure that you still end up being able to be effective at work and with your family. So the first thing is actually what you should focus on with your running. We can do a lot of different things with our training, but let's prioritize the two most important things in our training. And those things are our weekly workout and our weekly long run. These are the things that drive the most number of adaptations. So of course, we can be a little bit more flexible with the easy base runs and the recovery runs, but let's get in that long run. Let's get in that weekly workout and really prioritize those as the two most important sessions of our week. Now, if you're a parent and you struggle getting in your training because you have a lot of parental responsibilities, I get it. I have 3 kids myself. One of the most strategic little hacks that you can incorporate into your training is to do easy cross training at home when your kids go to sleep. So if you're putting your kids down at, let's just say 8 o'clock at night, you can get on, say, a bike trainer in the garage, in the basement, if you have the space, and you can get in a fairly high volume amount of cross training and it won't interfere with your family life. I've actually started doing this myself and I found it to be really effective because it doesn't, interfere with me being a dad, but at the same time, I can get on the bike for an hour at nighttime and really continue developing that aerobic metabolism. Cross training can be really effective. Of course, we're runners. It's not the thing that we most want to do, but adding in this cross training either at night when your kids are sleeping or maybe even in the morning before they get up, depending on their schedules, is a really effective way. After you have prioritized that long run in the weekly workout, of course, you're going to have a couple other easy base runs during the week, but this extra cross training is going to bridge the gap between the volume that you'd like to do and the volume that you're able to do. Now, another thing that you can do that you're probably not going to like is something I'm doing right now, which is I'm running when I can, when it's really convenient in my schedule, even if it's not necessarily convenient for my running. So I'm running right now and it's about 12:30 in the afternoon. It's in the mid-90s. I would rather not run right now. It's uncomfortable, but I just have a short, easy distance run. So this is when I'm going to get it done. And no matter what your schedule looks like, you can probably find small pockets of time where you could get in a workout or some type of strength workout or run, even if you don't really want to. It's not particularly a great time, but if it's available, I think you should take it. All right, I had to take that one inside because I was dying out on the run. It might be convenient to sometimes run at 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you have to take that for your schedule, but don't do anything seriously dangerous for yourself. I knew that for me, I'm not going to film a bunch of video stuff out there when it's really hot outside. I didn't have any water with me. I've got my trusty 2-before mix here, and I was just feeling a little bit too hot and dehydrated, so finished up the run real quick. I had less than a mile, so let me take a shower and we'll finish up this video. All right, we're back inside because it was way too hot for both a run and a video for that run. But I want to continue this theme of talking about time-saving strategies for your training so that you can still get in really good shape without losing the actual purpose of what you're doing. So another strategy is if you're just going for a recovery run or an easy base run, let's skip the dynamic warm-up. Now, this is an interesting suggestion because I have previously recorded a video saying that you should do your dynamic warm-up even if you don't actually need it. And if you're going for a short, very easy run, you probably don't need the dynamic warm-up ahead of time, although it is valuable for continuously building strength, coordination, and that general athleticism. If you are truly starved for time, skip the dynamic warm-up and instead just make the first mile or so of your run a little bit slower to help your body metabolically warm up for the rest of your run. You can also save time before you even start running. I know a lot of runners are very adamant about getting their caffeine intake before a run. I know I am, but sometimes I don't have time for French pressing my morning coffee like I usually like to do. In that case, I'll go for a prepackaged, already set source of caffeine. My favorite is 2 Before. They're also sponsoring this video, and that's because 2 Before has 120 milligrams of caffeine. They also have vasodilation benefits and antioxidant recovery benefits of the New Zealand blackcurrant berries that are in this product. Really like it. The caffeinated version is definitely my favorite, as you can tell. Really love the caffeine. And this saves me about 10 minutes in the morning of boiling water, of French pressing the coffee, of letting it set. And then I don't have this really hot cup of coffee that I have to drink more slowly over time. If you're rushing out the door, get something like 2 Before, and you're still going to get all those benefits. You're going to save a lot of time too. Another thing that I talk about all the time, running strides. Strides are so fundamental as a nice speed-oriented drill to include in your training. But if you're short on time, instead of doing them after your run, let's do them during your run. So instead of stopping in your front yard, on your street, at a field somewhere and running these strides, instead just include them in the last mile of your run, last kilometer or two. You can separate each stride with about 90 seconds of very easy running, and you'll just go about running that stride the same way that you would do normally, except it's more of like an interval workout. But let's just make sure the jogging in between each stride is very easy, very relaxed, so that you're not turning this into a harder session than it has to be. Now, I get a lot of questions about this one, which is if I'm sandwiching my run in between a dynamic warm-up and 10 to 20 minutes of post-run core or strength or mobility work, do I have to do that right after the run? A lot of runners are pressed for time, especially if you're running first thing in the morning. The answer is no. Of course, you don't have to do it exactly after your run. You can wait until later in the day. So if you have more time during your lunch hour, right after work, maybe in the evening hours, you can just turn on the television in your living room and get down on the carpet and do some of this mobility and strength work. That is an option too. The number one goal with this kind of work is to get it in. As long as you're completing it, I'll be happy. And possibly most importantly, remember why you are training as hard as you are. A lot of us are trying to be healthy for our families. Some of us are chasing big, scary, intimidating personal bests, or you're trying to qualify for a major race like the Boston Marathon. No matter what it is, no matter what your goal is, remember that. Keep that in the back of your mind so that you're going to be a little bit more motivated, a little bit more likely to be consistent. And then hopefully your life will open up a little bit more and you'll have a little bit more time to get in all the training that you'd like to get in. All right, I hope these strategies were helpful for you. If you're a time-strapped athlete, I get it. I understand. I have 3 kids myself. I'm a business owner. I try to have a social life, and these tips can really help you focus on what's important, still progress in your training, while at the same time opening up 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, maybe 20 minutes over here, so that you can still get in this training and keep moving that ball forward. And a big thanks to 2 Before for sponsoring this video. Don't forget, go to 2before.com, use the code JASON. You're going to get 30% off any of their multi-serve packs. And this is a product I use all the time. I was drinking it today during this video while I was filming it. I really love it. And hopefully it can be one of your time-saving strategies.